Welcome to the BBC podcast. Tapping in with Tunchi again. Today we heading down to Puerto Rico so we can check out this entrepreneur and get some inlines on how we start our own business. Introduce the lovely Tanya. She has her own business down there. We're going to get some information on how she runs and everything and keeps everything tight with her man that she has down there too. Give you guys some advice. Hand it over.
Well, what's up, guys? My name is Tanya. I'm the CEO of Real PR Travel. So basically, Real PR Travel is just your one-stop shop when it comes to vacation planning here in Puerto Rico. I've been living on the island almost about 60 years now. And, basically over the years, I've built out, my partnerships and my network of like different services and stuff like that, which has allowed me to create full-blown vacation planning services for people coming to the island.
Okay.
So if you want to know, some of our services include Airbnbs, transportation services. We have boating, private charter services as well. We do tours, all across the island, food tours, waterfall tours. Pretty much create customized tours and stuff like that. We try to focus on giving people more of a real experience. That's why it's called Real PR. So it's more of a local experience versus like going to places that all tourists go to. And that's pretty much what has kind of kept us with a great reputation on TripAdvisor. The word of mouth of clients, that come here, experience with us and then go back and just maybe tell friends, co-workers, family members. Anytime anyone mentions that they're coming to Puerto Rico, it's always, oh my God, make sure you reach out to Real PR Travel because they definitely know what they got going on out there.
Okay. So with your business, does word of mouth really help with you? Like people come back in the States or they go back to their spot?
Of course, word of mouth, our reviews on TripAdvisor, we're definitely rated, five star on TripAdvisor. We're ranked number 3 out of 34 for food and drink in San Juan. And then of course, word of mouth, with me bouncing around basically a lot throughout my life, living in California, Arizona, New York City, and now Puerto Rico, a lot of people know me, so it's crazy. So it's like, people reconnect with me based on them coming to Puerto Rico. I'm about to see my fucking childhood best friend from from 6th grade, from when I went to Vallejo, before I even went to Serrano. She's coming out here for her wedding, honeymoon. So I planned that vacation package for her. So, the business has allowed me to see friends of mine throughout the years, and they refer, their friends and family. So now it's just kind of a thing where when people mention Puerto Rico and you know me or you have done tours with me in the past, you're always going to mention me or my business.
That's good. That's real good. So you've been networking since, since you've been in the States, or?
Well, the thing is that I did come here a lot, but I can't really say that I networked, during my vacation time. I did more networking when I actually was on the island. I'm a super social butterfly. I could make acquaintances and friends and build partnerships and relationships pretty much everywhere I go. But for the most part, it's just, people see what I do. Like when it came to boating, it's kind of crazy because even right now, a captain of mine from maybe 2018 reached out to me. I haven't been numbers with him in a few years. Definitely not since the hurricane. Oh no, a little bit after the hurricane. But he reached out to me and was like, hey, are you still doing tours? And I'm like, of course I am. And then comes to find out that he has apartments and he has boats that go to Culebra, which is a little separate island off of the main island of Puerto Rico that also has one of the top 10 beaches in the world. Literally, on world's best beaches, top 10. So, people reach out to me because they know what I do and they're like, yo, bring me that American money, bring me someone, because in reality, local Puerto Ricans, they're on different type of salaries. Our minimum wage in CR is just made it to $8.50. It just made it to $8.50. There's not a lot of very low end paying jobs. I pay my tour guides $12 an hour. They're actually about to getting paid $13 an hour. And if they have short days, I pay them $15. So the fact that we even pay way above, the minimum wage makes my guys want to work for me. They get crazy, tips for the things that they do. And plus, I'm very focused on hiring local Puerto Ricans.
Okay.
If you're gonna get a tour with us, it's gonna be from a Puerto Rican that knows the history, knows the food, speaks the language, and our little vibe is very friends and family style. And I think that's what people like because everything's private. Most tours you go on is like a big bus with a bunch of people, and they look like a fucking herd of like cows and shit.
Yeah, I
But we
get
do
it.
private tours, and people love it because it just gives them that feels like they're with someone that they know versus a random.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I see a lot of the photos. It look like a good vibe though.
For sure, I mean, there's a lot of things to see and do. Like, I mean, we have over 220 beaches on the island.
Yeah.
We have 116 waterfalls. I mean, not all of them are easy to get to. With some of them, you're definitely gonna have to do some crazy hiking.
Okay.
That's not really my style of experiencing, but I do have guides. Like I know, other tour operators and other actual hikers that do offer those services. So I just resell everything, and that's how we created this kind of one-stop shop. It's kind of like the swap meet or whatever you want to call it of like
Yeah.
tourism. Because in reality, I just resold what people do. Like, okay, you're a private chef, bet I'm gonna sell that. Okay, you're a masseuse on the beach, bet I'm gonna sell that.
Mm.
And now just allows me to okay, once you contact me, there's nowhere else really to go because we have everything underneath one umbrella.
Okay. Very very smart. How do you include in your man in all this?
So how me and my man became business partners was the fact that he had a lot of strengths that I did not have. So I can do marketing, but I'm not as strategic in marketing as he is.
Mm.
Finances, yeah, like my business, I didn't have like an accounting system.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was very simple. It was very simple and basic.
Mm.
And then he also helped me to like kind of just like increase my margins. He's just very good with numbers and very good with creating businesses and stuff like that. So my expertise is customer service. I know mine is like the tour creation. I'm more like about the experiences. So us combining our two strengths into like one team just allow us to like propel the business. We suffered a lot this year because we dealt with, off and on with COVID.
Yeah, for sure.
We just had a second hurricane happen, a couple weeks back. So, like our numbers compared to last year, are very drastic. But, it always allows us to look for other opportunities. Like right now, we're about to get into a few hotels and,
Okay.
we're partnering with like social media influencers, that have a
Okay.
really large following, especially a
Yeah.
Puerto Rican following
Okay.
that whenever we pay this girl, like a really good rate,
Mm.
and her fucking marketing always comes back like literally 10 times than what we put up.
Oh, that's good.
So we're learning things like that. And I don't know. I think for me, my next step is kind of branching out from not just doing Puerto Rico now, but now into more of the Caribbean and do more islands and
Mm.
kind of copy and paste, my blueprint here in
Yeah,
Puerto
your
Rico and
formula. Yeah.
and create it in Jamaica, Dominican Republic,
Mm.
St. Thomas and Grenada and Guyana and those different places, and just kind of keep flourishing,
That's
literally, because that's one thing that we about. Like we don't stay content with our achievements. It's like, all right, let's go, let's go,
yeah,
let's
that's good.
go.
That's good. Always staying hungry. That's how you know like the business is always gonna be. It's gonna grow like way 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 beyond because you got the hunger.
You're
Like,
never satisfied, bro.
yeah.
You're never satisfied. Like, there's no cap.
Yeah.
Literally, there's no cap.
Okay. Being what would you recommend for women being that like most women are just intimidated that they don't want to do it on their own or they have to have their man like step in all the way like how you were already established and you allowed your man to incorporate with you like how would you recommend for women to just like
Okay. So if he was here, he would definitely tell you it was not very easy, because I was, well, first and foremost, as a woman, I stand very strong on ain't nobody gonna give me something that they could take away from me.
mm,
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah
So I'm never gonna be fully dependent on another human being, especially a man. Like
yeah
I don't want that. I don't want to be taken care of. Like
mm,
I'm super. ride or die. Like, yo, we're gonna go in here and we're gonna grind this shit out together. You're gonna do your part, I'm gonna do my part, and then we're gonna build, brick and layer this shit together. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, like it took a while, like he made me sign a contract. I took the contract as like a personal attack. And it's just, he's like, you gotta separate it. Like, this is business. Like, if I'm putting in the work, I just gotta make sure that I'm not doing it for no reason. Like, I am gonna get something, from my time and effort and stuff like that. So, it's been a learning experience in the beginning. He would tell you, I wouldn't even get upset when he was trying to change colors of my financial fucking sheet. Like, and I mean, obviously later on when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking retarded, right? Like, why am I mad that you want to change the colors? Like, if that works best for you and you're taking over the path, it doesn't matter if I want to keep it blue, green, orange, or whatever. Like, I'm not even doing it anymore. So, it did take a lot for me to take my hands off and trust, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust him that was coming, positive, because of course you're always in a fearful, like, yo, what is your real MO? What's your motive? Like, are you here to take advantage? Are you really here to help me flourish? Are you here to help us flourish? Are you here for, like, a stepping stool so that you can go do your own thing and then leave me by myself? You know what I mean? There's always these different situations that I don't know, you just gotta trust it. Like, it's not always easy. Like I tell people all the time, we bump heads in the relationship, but we also bump heads in business. So it's like we're gonna be constantly bumping heads. But we also know that without one another, we wouldn't be able to build it as fast. You know what I mean? Like it would take a lot. We would still get there. We would still make it to the finish line, but it would be very, very different apart. Like it would be very different. So I think that's what kind of keeps a little bit together.
So basically, it was kind of more a little difficult for you to not so much hand over the keys, but let him touch the steering wheel too and guide the business and stuff. Like, because obviously you built this up.
Just allow him to lead. Just allow him to lead sometimes.
Okay.
Like, I was always the leader in my two past relationships with my kids' fathers. Yeah. So, just being able to trust a man that is even capable of leading me was a little bit, like was just what threw me off. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't ready. Kept me hesitant. So he had to fight with me, which is cool for real. So I think I'm doing better now. I also now there's certain things like, you know what, I'm gonna let you do your way. If you crash and burn, then you can't get mad at me. But if it works out, then great. You know what I mean? Because that's the same token. Like, you still have to you still have to allow me to make certain decisions. You know what I mean? Like I can't let you have all of the decision making. I still have to have the say so.
Okay.
I'm always gonna have to have some type of fucking say so. Always.
So pretty much, I mean, being in Puerto Rico, like, you think you pick up on any of the traditional ways, letting like your man lead and being a little submissive if he's the right dude?
I think that I speak up when I feel like I need to speak up. But at the same time, I do know when I do need to allow him to be the man. You know what I mean? Sometimes he has to check me, and sometimes he doesn't. But for the most part, I don't think I would ever fully be submissive. I mean, I'm too much of a alpha female to be 100% speaking, submissive to anybody. Sorry.
Okay. So
I don't think that he would want. I don't think he would want anybody to be submissive either.
Oh, really?
He likes a little.
Oh, okay. So he likes the feistiness a little bit.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, who wants to talk that bitch? I mean, I don't.
I'll get you. So what about during the whole tour things? Like, besides him helping with you, the accounting, is he actually like on the boats with you, on the tours with you? Like,
I mean, he used to be, like in the very beginning he was, but to be quite honest, Joshua doesn't have the best customer service, basically. But no, he just that's not his passion. Put it like that. His passion is not people being on tour. You know what I mean? Like his passion is business. He loves business.
Okay.
So he'd rather go sit on a business meeting than be, going on tour. See, me, I love being outside Everyone knows that. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm an earth sign. So I just love being at the beach, in a waterfall, at a bar, eating, drinking, and just enjoying life. Like I love Puerto Rico for its vibe. Doesn't matter what beach you go to, it's a vibe. You could be at a beach 100% by yourself, like me and my son was yesterday, or you could be at a poppin' beach where everybody's at. Like it's always going to be a fucking vibe.
Mm. Okay. So what about that also being out there and like networking? How do you know that to make friends with the right people and not like bring the wrong people in your business, especially you're around your business is part of like being around other people. Make sure you have the right other people around.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like there's partnerships that have went through it, right? Like we had a boat captain that we used for damn near 2 years, and in
Mm.
the beginning he was the best captain that we had.
Mm.
But in reality, he just, I don't know, like he became very greedy, like I
Mm.
don't know, like, and then his whole service started to dwindle. And eventually he actually got kicked out of the marina and got banned by a bunch of marinas. So
Mm.
it's just kind of like, you just gotta take your chances, you know what I mean?
Okay.
For the most part, I have to say that 90% of Puerto Ricans, especially ones that are small business owners, are super nice, super amazing, and they have great customer service. Like how down south is known for their southern hospitality,
Yeah.
where Puerto Rico has this very own hospitality where they just treat everybody. Everything's very welcoming. So
Mm.
everything's like, oh my God, try this, try that. Look, it's your first time in Puerto Rico, you have to have this kind of shot. Oh my God, you have to have, like they're very, like they love their island so much, but they want visitors to love it too.
Mm. Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not that hard. Like I literally been on boats and the boat next to us will be full of locals and they're like barbecuing on their boat and they're like offering my boat to my clients shots or like, pieces of steak or pieces of fish or whatever it is that they're making on their grill. They're like, mira, tu quieres? They're always offering stuff.
Mm.
So
Okay. Okay.
they're very communal people. So it's not hard.
Okay.
And
But
but they love money. Like who doesn't love to make money? Like I literally put no lie in that captain in his pocket in like 7 months he made $46,000 with us just doing movies.
damn, just doing it.
So yeah, absolutely. So it's like who's not gonna like that? That's why that captain reached out to me, not the same one, but that's why a past captain reached out to me because they know that I have business.
Mm.
So
So
just trying to rebuild.
what could you give a tip on somebody who's trying to start up a business and they like you said like you have employees and they start with you and they're seeing that your business is growing. I know it's happened before. Like obviously this happened to me on business, but like how is it that like
Mm-hmm.
when somebody is that they're like seeing you grow, so they're seeing your company make more money, so they feel entitled that they should be getting more too.
It's kind of crazy because I've had employees like that literally will be like, oh, Tanya makes all the money and this and that. And it's just like, dude, like, the work at McDonald's don't make the same money as the person that owns McDonald's. So yeah, you're right. The thing about it is that, I'm a very hands-on owner. Like
Mm.
we would have meetings, here in my office, here in my home, in my home office, and we're having like hookah, wine, weed, you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
party, like I'm cooking for them or like, so they would kind of take my kindness and like not respect me like as the owner, like as their boss. Like so at times, yeah, like you gotta go. Like at the end of the day, like, these people that's okay. Employees are always gonna come and go. You always have to see this as a revolving door when it comes to staffing. Now, do I try to keep my staff as happy as possible? Absolutely.
Okay.
Do I have some very genuine staff, some loyal employees? Absolutely. Like I have a GM that, she's going through the slow transition and the slow kind of time that we're going through right now with us, but she's still like on standby. Like, hey, let me know when the contracts come through with the hotels because she's always ready to jump back on board with us. So we got people like that too that truly believe in us, but we've just been beat up. We've
Yeah, for
done a
sure.
lot of different challenges. So
Okay. How about is it hard keep or finding and keeping an employee that's like loyal that like you said is gonna ride through the slow times, he gonna eat when it's time to eat, like
well, to be quite honest, this is what. So I have my staff set up to where it's kind of like an Uber style,
mm.
and they're kind of they're free to like have other jobs and go to
Yeah, yeah.
school and this and that. They have like a pool.
Mm,
So when something comes up, I open up I open it up and I'll put it on an online scheduling app.
mm,
And out of my 10 people that are available, whoever wants to take it, takes it. You know what I mean?
okay, okay.
Versus me like scheduling them, and them like waiting on me and then seeing, oh my God, there's no work this week.
Okay.
It's more like, oh, okay, I can pick up an extra shift today or extra 3 shifts this week and stuff like that. So it's kind of like they create their own schedule, and because the demand is different. Last week we had lots of tours. This week we only have one day of tours. The following week, you know what I mean? We have like 5 tours. So just every week is different. The demand changes. Everything is based on travel. If you're not coming to Puerto Rico, there's not going to be any work. So,
I
I
see.
have connections with some of the biggest Airbnb hosts, and even they're seeing the pinch or feeling the pinch. So it's not just us,
Okay.
just the moment.
So is it is Puerto Rico a all around season? Like come all the time, or when is it best to be in Puerto Rico?
100% all season round. Don't get me wrong. September is like crazy peak hurricane season.
Okay,
So
September.
there's definitely, a lot of possibilities that the weather won't be the best. There's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of rain in September, but for the most part, weather's always 85, anywhere between 75 to 85 all year round. And I mean, beaches are always open, waterfalls are always open, you know what I mean? So,
Okay.
like, yeah, sure, all year round.
Okay. So to touch up on the relationship a little bit, how could you recommend for women that obviously have a little bit of alpha energy? They got, what I'm saying, you got to be a go getter. So that's part of the game. Being a boss is
For
like,
sure.
yeah, and being like
You gotta bring
ambitious and stuff.
something to the table. You definitely
Mm,
cannot be an alpha female and not bring anything to the table. Like, that's just crazy, right?
mm,
Like, you can't have all these demands and all these wants and you ain't got shit to give. So let's start with that.
mm,
Making yourself valuable. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand. And also backtracking to my life a little bit, right?
mm,
Because people, obviously, you and I know each other from junior high school,
yeah,
which is long, long time ago. And life, life, as we be saying, life be lifing.
yeah,
All
for
right?
sure.
That's my little quote, life be lifing. And, I went through 5 years as a dancer in New York City, you know what I mean? Like living that fast lifestyle, get money, whatever. Like I was never the person that like splurged. I was never like the material person that was into like shoes and bags. It was like I was using that money to still fund what I was building in New York at that time was known as a group and models, which like it was a Latina modeling group that I put together.
Okay.
And basically it was just showing the diversity of the Latin culture because, obviously with me growing up in Cali for
Mm-hmm.
that 13 years of my life,
Yeah,
I always had that issue, right, with people not understanding my culture. What
yeah,
do you mean
yeah.
you're Puerto Rican? What does
Mm-hmm.
that mean? So you're black and Mexican? I
Yeah,
tell people the story all the time. They don't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
me. And I'm like, and then forget about it. I would never tell people that I was Cuban because they're like, what do you mean? What is that? Like, what is Cuban? Because back then, there was no internet. There was no social media. So
Mm,
all we knew was black, white, and Mexican
yep.
and, and Asian, basically, and that's all that existed.
Mm,
Um, so when I got to New York, I realized that there's so many different Latin cultures. There's Colombian, Ecuadorian, Venezuelan, Dominican, Panamanian, you know, people from Paraguay, Uruguay, like all these different Chile, Bolivia, Argentina. I was like, wow, like this is my opportunity to kind of teach people about like culture diversity
mm,
through these beautiful women from New York. So I always had some type of business mind frame because one thing about New York City is that everybody in New York is a fucking hustler.
mm,
Like I knew everyone that I knew, they will have a job like a regular 9 to 5, but everybody was pursuing something on the side: photography, videography, DJ, clothing line, artists. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
everybody I knew was very inspirational. So I'm like, wait, I want to be like y'all. Like I want to have something of my own. And that's how I got into Dulce Models, Dulce Life Entertainment, which is like an event planning, little thing. And, so I would create my own photo shoots for these girls, do their hair, do their makeup, style them, have themes for these shoots. So I always had some type of business mindset.
Mm,
But then at one point, when I finally came out the game at like 30, 31, when I finally came out the game and stopped dancing at 31, I solely focused on school. And, when I found tourism and travel, it was because a friend of mine here in Puerto Rico told me that he'll give me an opportunity to work in a hotel if I ever moved here. So with that, it made me want to pursue education in the tourism hospitality, industry. My very last semester, I was 7 months pregnant. You know what I mean, with my son, and
Okay.
riding the train, riding the bus and the train from fucking the Bronx all the way to the Queens, which is like an hour ride. And
Damn.
New York City is extremely packed.
Mm.
So there would be moments I couldn't even get in the train. Like, there's a lot of. So my point of the story is this: it's the sacrifices, right? Like,
Yeah.
people think that shit comes easy, and the sad thing is that these little stories become repetitive. We always be like, yo, you sacrifice, 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 because in reality, if you don't sacrifice, which is AKA the investment in yourself,
Mm.
you're not gonna get anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna stay stagnant.
Mm.
You're gonna always question, oh, why is this not working out? Why? Because you're not making sacrifices. You're not willing to do what five people are not willing to do, or probably are willing to do. You have to be willing to do that and then some. There was times I would have to go to school, take class, come back to the Bronx, pick up my daughter, to go back to Queens and take the rest of my classes while she was in after school care. Like, I went through mad shit, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Just trying to build my education up. And all I did was get my associates. Like, I didn't believe in, like, oh, let me go myself into, like, financial debt.
Yeah.
It's like, I got my shit all on financial aid. Like, I was not playing.
Yeah.
I'm getting my education for free. And after that, that's it. Like, I'm going to take my knowledge and just fucking run with it. So I went straight from having my, getting my associates to moving straight to Puerto Rico with a 3-week-old baby. You know what I mean? Because
So
I gave birth to my son, and then I moved to PR.
so during all that, like, are you the only one motivating yourself the whole time, or you got somebody at home, your man pushing you?
100%. 100%. No, I'm alone. I'm totally by myself. It's just me. It's me, my mom, and my daughter at the time.
Mm.
My mom was just working, and my mom was holding me down because, like I said, I stopped dancing. I was 30 years old, living with my mom, not making really no money anymore, just
Yeah.
focus on the future. My mom helped me a lot. I got pregnant with my son. It was like, fuck, like,
Yeah.
but, I didn't let that stop me. Like, it was like, oh my God, this is a major setback, or let me change my plans. Like, bro, all right, guess you coming to Puerto Rico too, my guy.
Mm.
And that's, what happened. And I've been ripping and running ever since. I got here March 10th of 2017, and I did my first actual tour on March 24th. So I was here 14 days
Oh, damn.
before I made my first. Because I was smart, right? Like,
Yeah.
I built my own website in New York when I was home. I got myself on TripAdvisor, Writer, like all those third party booking services where you could book resellers or whatever.
Mm.
So all I did was backdate my availability.
Mm.
And I was in New York still getting reservations for like the end of March, or it's April, May, but it's like February or January. So I'm in New York and I'm like, yo, I already have work when I land in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. Most women don't think like that. I know they always it's like that entitlement, or especially pretty women, pretty privileged, that they wait for something to be handed to you. And like I said, you just broke it down how you did everything by yourself. Like,
maybe because nothing has ever been handed to me. Like, nobody, like, I came from as a single mom. My mom unfortunately struggled with drugs when I was younger, and had a gambling addiction when I was younger. And, and my mother left my father when I was 10 years old. So it's not like my mother never remarried. I never had a stepfather or anything like that in my life. So when it was just, for a long time, it was just me and my mom, until I had my daughter. And then it was just the three of us until I had my son, which, they're pretty much 11 years apart, my kids. But, that's one thing I say, like, my children sacrifice as well, right? Because I don't have that 9 to 5 lifestyle where, mom is going to be off every Saturday and Sunday, or mom's off from work at 5 p.m. There's times that I've had to do a tour on my kids' birthdays. Like, yo, babe, I'm sorry, I'll be here tomorrow. But,
okay.
Because if I turn this $300 down today because it's your birthday, then I won't be able to buy you anything that's going to be with you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, when you're in tourism, like, the more people that you have, because I charge on a per person basis. So I don't make minimum less than $200 a day. Like, I'm not going outside for less than $200 a day, and that's my minimum. You know what I mean? That's the minimum I'm gonna make.
That's good that you know your like your time worth, because when somebody asks you to do something, you could be doing something else. Like, nah, man, this is like my time is worth something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's
Even
good to know.
today, we had like a last minute booking, and then you know, in the reality, when I did the math, after I paid my staff, it was only two people, and after I paid my staff and I paid the expenses, I was only gonna get $50, and I was just like, this is not even worth me really even going into like it. You know what I mean? I wasn't really gonna make it. Now, how I did it myself, I wouldn't have the overhead of the staff and the staff, right? So that's the difference, right? Like what my $200 would be for me if I have to pay someone to start to dwindle, because not only am I paying them for their time, I have to pay their gas and their tolls because they're doing the work for me.
Okay. So what about like if people come
so
down?
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like that's what it seems like. The whole thing, like how.
If I have 10 people, oh my God.
That's
like,
what I say. Like what's the average?
12.
What's the average size group for you? Like that you usually book?
Honestly, we get more 2 people groups than we do anything else, but it all depends on the time of the year. So in the summertime, we get like a lot of groups, so 4 to 6, whatever. Both. I mean, I get people that right now I have a group of, I think it's like 12. You know, like I've gotten groups of 20, 40 at times. Like, wait, guys. Okay. I don't have a fucking charter bus. I got to figure this whole transportation thing out. And then people think that boats. Oh my God, we have 25 people and we want to do a boat. The maximum you can do on even an 80-footer out here is 12. So you're still going to have to do 2 boats no matter what. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's stuff like that. Like you have to know pretty much what you can do with your size group. Like, all right, you guys can do this, but trying to get you guys a boat, you probably have to go on a catamaran. Catamaran's going to be public. You're not going to get that kind of good food. You won't be able to smoke. You know what I mean? Like, you won't be able to play your kind of music. So it's like, I tell people all the time, you get what you pay for. You pay more money, you're going to get a better service. You pay less, you're going to get better service. So.
Okay. So like most people go, so you're saying it's more couples that go instead of versus like like bachelorette parties or like families.
Like, you know, like sisters, you know, best friends, you know, stuff like that. But what we love are like the bachelorette parties or the bachelor parties or the family vacations. Summertime is always family vacation. Believe it or not, the week in between Christmas and New Year, oh my God, that week between last year we had a $7,000 week. A week. We had a $7,000
in
week.
December?
But then the follow-up.
In December?
In December. The last week, that literally the day after Christmas up until New Year's, that 7-day little window, we had a $7,000 week. And the following week after New Year's was a $700 week because it was that fucking drastic, the fucking change.
That's crazy.
This is the most unpredictable business I've ever experienced in my life.
Hey, but you've been sticking it out, so it's got to be good, though.
I mean, yeah, bro. Like, you know, when you've seen the potential, right? Because you've had $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month, and you also had $2,000 a month. You know what I mean? You have a little bit of both. So we see the potential. It's like how can we make the numbers go up, right? Like how can we? What happened at that time, if you believe, obviously last year was you had PPP loans, you had unemployment, you had everybody working from home, half of the country, half of the world was closed, and you could only go to certain places, and then tickets to Puerto Rico were like $50.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward into this year, now you have gas prices that are, you know, going through the fucking roof. The rest of the world has opened up. You know, but now, and then we're getting hurricanes, so just like the travel shifted because people started going to more places. They started going back to other countries where it's cheaper, right? Because Puerto Rico, remember, we're U.S. territory. So your dollar is my dollar. Your dollar is not 50 pesos.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, this is not, you know, we had the same exact currency. So where you could take your money to Dominican Republic or to Mexico and get a lot more for your bang for your dollar, and there's actually no all inclusive really on the island as well. So that has us beat out by other countries. Number one, that the currency is different and they get more for the dollar. You know, if I was to take $1 to Dominican Republic, it'll be worth 34 pesos or 50 pesos, and they could get a lot more for $5 than you could get for over here,
Okay.
right? So you
That.
have to compare Puerto Rico more to like a Miami
Yeah.
or to Hawaii, but that's only if you're in the tourist area. Because if you leave and you go to more local areas, then you're gonna eat cheaper, drink cheaper,
Okay.
but you have to go to local areas for that. Local beach areas. I mean, I'm talking shots, $3
Yeah. Do you ever take
for Patron.
any of your tours down there?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, of course. We cover all corners of the island. So we have like a navigate the north, which is like the northern coast. We have a see the southeast, water to the west, explore the east. So we have it broken down by quadrants so that you can explore different parts of the island for sure.
Okay. So you said like it's like unscheduled. It could be this day, like no matter what. Like have you had to do like
It's
any
fucking
like
random.
besides
It's
besides your kids
fucking random.
besides your kids' birthdays, have you had to do like any holidays before?
So I mean, like what, like the Memorial Day weekends
Yeah,
and
say
stuff
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
like those type of things.
yeah, yes and no. But like I said, like because other places are so much cheaper,
Mm.
it doesn't. It's not always as busy here as it would be like in like a Tulum or even Vegas. Like even Vegas, like the New Year's, excuse me, or like the 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
See, we don't celebrate 4th of July though, right? Because we're not an actual state.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's that part too. Like we do like a massive beach day, but that's about it. It's not like, oh my God, fireworks or stuff like that.
Okay. So right now, like with everything being like all, say like a different season for you guys, how you say versus last year, like what is it that you're doing right now for marketing and like keeping it rolling?
So now we have like, okay, we just added this girl named Angelique that she's like a super well known influencer, mostly for Puerto Rico, and we partnered with her for a couple months, and she's doing like a couple of our Airbnb properties. She's also going to be marketing our membership. So we just rolled out like a Real PR travel membership that like allows people to pay a monthly fee or weekly fee. And then they get to redeem like a 3-day all-inclusive vacation package at the end of 12 months. But within the 12 months of their membership, they're able to take advantage of all the basically 10% off of all products and services. So we use her because her following is very genuine and is very organic. And whenever she posts with us, we get 500 new followers. I mean, our website goes bananas, and so we like her a lot. We've been trying the whole Facebook and Instagram marketing, but I'm realizing that the hits, because I get a notification on my website when I have a visitor, but my hits, they're not legit because I'll click it and I'm able to talk to them, chat with the people live right from my website. And I'll click it and it's like nobody, it's like they're like bots. So like these hits that I'm fucking paying for are like bots. So we're gonna take that part of it out. My man's gonna focus on finding more influencers for the island. We just gotta pay influencers and spend money on, online marketing ads because in reality they're sending over a bunch of fucking fake traffic. And I'm spending, these marketing dollars for it.
Okay.
We're about to start our own podcast as well called Love and Hustle.
Oh yeah, okay.
Where we talk about, obviously, being in business and being in relationships, the pros and cons of business, business relationships. And then we're also going to be interviewing, other people like us, and we have, like just other entrepreneurs, like ourselves, and stuff like that. We also started giving out business tips. So my man is like really into financial literacy and economics. Like that's one of his big things. So like, sharing like tax incentives, or ways that you can save money or how you can earn business funding and stuff like that. So we do that a lot. We actually have like a business package, like a business startup package, where we'll do the whole like create the EINs for you, do the registration, do the tax registration, have your own banking person, your own CPA, and your own business lawyer. So we have that going on. And then, of course, I have my women's empowerment 3-day retreat.
I was getting ready to touch up on
that. That is coming up in March.
Okay.
So this will be my first of major events. We have a space for 12 girls. I have about 4 girls signed up right now, so we
Okay.
have places left. And this is all about as kind of what we're talking about right now, like just empowering women to like, hey guys, you can produce and
Yeah.
create your own success. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to live off of somebody
Somebody
else's
else.
success.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, you can be business beautiful. You can be like a beautiful business bad bitch, 100%. Like, but we gotta like help women come out of that shell, right, or that
Mm-hmm.
mindset of like them having to just rely on their looks to like kind of get what they want out of life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we have that event includes like a round table. So we have a life coach that
Okay.
will be kind of there help you to unbag that baggage. Trust me,
Mm-hmm.
the oh my god, the tissue will definitely be present.
Okay.
We're gonna be doing like a cooking class. We'll be doing some volunteering in a women's shelter. We have a boat day for just the girls. We have a girls' night out, and then we have a like a boss ladies brunch,
Mm.
where it's like a seminar of financial literacy. Also, women's empowerment, like a little bit of motivational speaking, uplifting. We have a spa day for the girls, or
Okay.
spa like a spa hour, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a 3-day weekend filled with so much dedication to the woman and just her finding her strength, like
Yeah.
literally digging down and finding her strength,
Yeah.
her voice, her passion and just herself, I
Yeah.
guess.
I get you. That's why I wanted to touch up and get the interview with you because like you do so much like solo like yourself like you said like the whole like your vibe and everything is just like full blown energy. Like you're real independent. You make sure it's happening and like you're a good role model for your daughter. So that's
Thank
what
you.
that's what I think a lot of women need to like focus on, like you said, instead of like waiting for somebody to bring them or give them something, a handout or anything like that. Waiting for the like I said, the pretty girl privilege that like you making it happen yourself. And if you have a relationship,
Trust me, there's
like
nothing better, there's no better feeling than having your own bag and seeing your name on that paperwork. You
yeah,
understand what I'm saying?
for sure.
Like, your name is on the paperwork.
Mm,
Like, no, this is I am a part of this. I have ownership. Like, ownership is just like, yeah, I have ownership. I own this.
yeah,
You cannot take this away from me because I own this.
yeah,
So when you don't own it and it's not yours or it's given to you or whatever, like, yeah, bro, it's kind
yeah,
of hard to like claim it.
yeah, for sure. And like I wanted you to like just touch upon like how to say like how you did briefly about like you already have your own, you're established, and it's you can still have a solid, good like relationship and letting somebody else in, but there's just a way to go about it. Like,
100%. I mean, as the same token, you also gotta make sure that they have something to bring to the table, right? Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong. Like, I was very physically attracted to my man, but I
mm,
tell him this all the time. I was like, if you were not smart, like if you were not a smart person, like if you
mm,
weren't driven, if you weren't any of that, I would not be in a relationship with you. I would have
mm.
kept it moving, like straight up.
So
Like
what would
you
your
would not
tip
would not
be?
be in a relationship. Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like I've been with non-motivated people
Yeah,
before, and like we both motivate each other. Like
mm,
some days I'm feel like, he's like, nah, we have to get this done. And some days he's like, I'm like, yo, babe, like, remember it's Market Monday. Let's go on the
mm,
grind. So it's like, yeah, we're super, and it's always like we go to meetings together.
mm,
People see us. I've been told, oh my God, you guys like to put like the Spanish Michelle, like Michelle Obama, whatever, crazy shit. Guys, a couple goals. This obviously,
mm,
and not everyone knows that what goes on behind the
yeah,
scenes, right? Because we all have our own private and personal
mm,
lives. But in reality, when it comes to business,
mm,
when it comes to like building, like we never have to like motivate one another. It's never like, yo, you dragging ass. It's never
yeah,
like that. Like, yo, let's get up and go. We gotta do
mm,
this. We gotta do that. We gotta do that. So we
okay,
have meetings in the middle of the night when we
yeah,
wake up at like 2 in the morning to smoke, and we're just like,
yeah,
all right, so did you do this? Did you do
okay,
that? Yo, so what you gotta do tomorrow? So
okay,
we're constantly, hyping each other up.
okay, that's good. What about like before him? Did you go straight from your son's death and you start dating him, or did you date in
No,
between?
absolutely not. No. Well, it's kind of crazy because I actually, I actually met Joshua
Mm,
on Instagram maybe days after my baby father, had left the house. like literally days after we had came upon each other's Instagram or whatever. It was very, very random situation. But we just, like we started and we spoke and this and that, but it was nothing serious because he lives in New York and I live in Puerto Rico. So it's like, whatever. So no, I was single from 2018 and so he finally got the courage to actually come and visit me in January 2020.
Okay.
So we were like, we were still talking to each other and I actually went to a whole another relationship. And I was just single. I was just living my life. I was doing me. I was enjoying being single and, just living my life. I would go to the club by myself. People wouldn't think that. I would go to the club by myself and shit like that. But I mean, I always knew that I wanted to at least try a relationship with him, just based on seeing how motivated and how ambitious he was from social media, because he was already doing his own thing, like real estate, and then he was like a super fly kid that like loved to dress. I was always intrigued and always wanted an opportunity to like date him. Didn't think we would be going on 3 years though. This is crazy.
Sure. Shout out to you guys.
2 years of like long distance friendship and flirting-ish, and then like 3 years of like relationship, and we've been living together for 2.5.
Okay. All right. Everything sounds like it's good. It's moving out there. That's good news.
So far, so good. Listen, life be life, and anything, really know. I don't put all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean? I pray that I definitely pray that we can. I personally feel like him and I have a lot more to accomplish together. We have a lot of community service that we want to do on the island, like a lot of give back. We still haven't obtained the level of the bag that we would like to obtain just yet. So until then, we're gonna be working like we broke. But for the most part, I would just, I would mostly tell women to take their time and focus on them, because the right guy for you is gonna come. You don't have to look for him. He's not, you know what I mean? Like I said, okay, Josh and I met because I made a comment on Sin Santana's picture. I don't know what I said. I was probably flirting with the girl. Who fucking knows what I thought about this girl? And here comes Joshua, like, yo, she's fire, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, hell yeah. And then I click on his page, and that's literally how me and this man met each other. Because I made a comment on Sin Santana, and he commented on my comment. When I clicked his page, I was like, oh my God, that's what nigga I need in my life. Okay. And like I said, we didn't start dating right away, but I wasn't really looking for nobody, right? Like he kind of just landed in my lap. Okay. But we're doing good now. I wish she was around. She's like somewhere upstairs. But no, she's dope.
Okay. I'm glad you did this interview for me, man. Give me a lot of info.
Of course.
I hope a lot of people can ride this and actually, like I said, gain some motivation and stuff like that. I'm gonna
absolutely. I hope so too, bro. I really do.
I'm gonna have them tap in with I'm gonna put all your information and everything below, so where they can find you and everything like that. I'm pretty sure that you'll probably get some hits.
Yes, all of my Instagrams and my websites and the whole thing is I have a whole link tree with everything that we do in my on my Instagram, just to make it easy for everybody, because forget about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then after you have that woman's thing over in March, someone tap back in with you and follow back up on that.
Yes, of course, absolutely. Please, I would love that.
Okay.
Because we'll be doing more. We're gonna make this an annual event. So whoever can make it, in 2023. Actually, I'm thinking of doing it twice a year, like every 6 months, because the demand is gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see a milli this year. I want to see a milli this year for sure.
Yeah, see, that's doable goals right there, and you already know it. That's why you're saying it.
All right, I got 365 days to do it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again for doing the interview.
All right.
And shout out to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
Ciao, everybody.
All right, everybody. I'll tap back up with you.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.